Can you hear me? Can you see me?
We can hear you, but we are not able to see your lovely.
Oh, that is a pity. Can you see me now?
Still not visible.
They're not visible. Can you see me now? Why can't
No, sir.
Okay.
We can only see the beautiful face of Mr. Sailesh Saigal. Smiling beautiful face. So sir, we just want to be in the frame right now, okay?
Could we have Jonas unmute, please?
You still can't see me?
No, Jonas, we're not able to see you, sir.
Hang on, let's see if we can sort this out. Give me 1 minute, Sailesh. Continue with something for 1 minute while I try to reconnect here, because there's obviously something not working.
Sure, Jonas. That's absolutely right. About the standards that was set in the assembly for you to see on how you and I can also contribute further in the green hydrogen. We will wait for Jonas and then.
Okay, now I'm here.
Oh, fantastic. So beautiful.
All right. Sorry about that, everyone, and congratulations. And this is absolutely fantastic. Great achievement. The Stockholm conference that Sailesh referred to, that just ended last week and that celebrated 50 years since the first Global World Environment Conference, has been quite significantly criticized over the last couple of weeks. Why? Because there was a perception of that there is so much talk going on about the crisis without actually coming with solutions, with decision makers in the world not demonstrating what we can do to stop climate change. What I hope that you, the global youth, can mobilize and do within this network is, yes, point out that there is a need for urgent action, but equally important, point towards solution, point towards practical things that we can do in order to avoid climate disaster. Because we now have solutions, and we got to make sure that we do everything we can to make those real. Of course, I'm talking about green hydrogen being one of those solutions. So let's focus over the next couple of minutes a little bit on what that actually is. When we talk about green hydrogen, we refer to hydrogen produced essentially pushing electricity through water. And if that electricity is green, comes from solar, from wind, from water, from hydro, then if it's renewable energy, we essentially have created a chain of energy without CO2 emissions. And that is what that is why this is so important. Now, we have known for a long time in life that we can use electrolysis to split water and create hydrogen, but it has been too expensive in comparison to other ways in which we can make hydrogen, primarily through refining of gas and coal. But that, of course, comes with very large fossil CO2 emissions. Now, what can we use this hydrogen to? We often say that if you can plug things into the grid, do that. Don't use hydrogen. If you can put a battery into things like cars, bikes, and so on, do that. That is more efficient. But then you have an outer ring for very long transports, heavy transports, for ships, for vessels, and for a lot of industrial applications, to produce fertilizers, to produce steel, and so on, where electricity directly used is not efficient. And this is where hydrogen comes in. Today, we don't use so much hydrogen, but we think that it will grow very rapidly in the coming years. And we think that up to a quarter of final energy use in the decades to come will be in that outer ring, will be using hydrogen. So it is for that purpose this is so important. It's a massive part of the climate of the energy transition. And it's something that we cannot achieve the energy transition without. So what is it that we need to do to make this happen faster now? Well, I think that if we look first at what is good, it's clear that industry is already moving, not least in India. We're seeing how the renewable energy economy is quickly growing, and we're seeing a number of companies taking a stronger interest in producing green hydrogen. And there are a number of companies here, of course, like Avada and Adani and a number of others that are already have huge plans. But there are also many global actors like Fortescue Future Industries, Aqua Power, and a number of others that are operating here. So industry, interestingly, is to a large extent leading here. They have spotted the opportunities and are investing in this. And we are moving very quickly from today, when we have virtually no green hydrogen to be being produced, to huge amounts going to be produced in the coming years. So we're going from 0 to 60, if you like, in a very short period of time. It is truly transformational. Now, we need to make sure that this happens quickly. And for that to happen, it's very important that our governments put in the right policies. And the first thing to recognize here is that in India and throughout much of the world, we subsidize the use of fossil fuels. We know the negative impact the use of fossil fuels has on the climate, but we still subsidize it to a very large extent. So that means that it is the odds are already set by our governments against the use of renewable energy and green hydrogen. That is the kind of policies that we have to put an end for. So there are a number of other things that governments can do. They can make the lending better. They can support pilot projects. They can make it cheaper if we use renewable energy. They can help to start companies in this space. These are the kinds of policies I hope that you guys are going to campaign tirelessly for. Being concrete, showing what can be done, showing that there are solutions, showing that you demand those solutions. Industry will do its bit, but we have to have our governments make it happen. And they are behind the curve. And you can ask, why is that? In my own country, Sweden, where I come from, it's clear that it's a lack of creativity. It's a lack of government officials that actually understand where industry is. They haven't quite moved as fast as the campaigners. They haven't quite moved as fast as industry. They don't quite see the solutions we have. Whereas they still, so the whole, if you like, bureaucracy all around us, it's the same in many other countries, is still geared towards the oil, gas, and coal driven economies. And we need to shift that. We don't need, today, we are seeing that in many countries, there are maybe a handful of government officials that work on green hydrogen. If you think about it, that's ridiculous. If we think that up to a quarter of final energy use is going to be through green hydrogen. We need to have a step change in the capacity of making this happen and of putting those policies that I pointed towards in practice. Guys, I'm available to answer questions. It is obviously, we're utterly delighted at the Green Hydrogen Organization to see the leadership, to see the drive amongst you guys. And I can tell you one thing, there's not only going to be an enormous need for campaigning, for you pointing towards these solutions, but there are also going to be enormous amounts of job opportunities in the renewable energy economy, including the green hydrogen. Everything from in the industry to campaigning to media reporting to the government officials I've spoken about, because we must have an absolute transformation of our economies very, very quickly. And a big chunk of it will be about green hydrogen. So learn about this topic, understand it if you're interested, and I can assure you there will be many opportunities in it in the years to come. Sailesh and everyone, thank you. And if there are any questions or so, I'm here.
Thank you so much, Jonas, for that. I think you have rightly mentioned on how young people's leadership can create a shift, including the creativity that is required to steer the entire bureaucracy across the world. And to bring the right campaigning, of course, is one aspect about it, but also providing precise solutions by demanding them and also providing them. So thank you so much, Jonas, for that. For the questions, of course, Jonas, our team will, and if anyone would have questions, please tweet it out as being put down on the chat box. As mentioned, as there was a discussion with the entire Green Hydrogen Organization Secretariat, led by Jonas, we have, of course, an historic MOU that we would like to sign along with Jonas between Youth for Green Hydrogen and the Green Hydrogen Organization. Thank you so much, Jonas. On behalf of all the young people present here and the Youth for Green Hydrogen, we express our sincerest gratitude to you and the entire Secretariat. Professor, over to you.
Thank you, Sailesh. Thank you so much. It's a great pleasure to be here in this day. It's also for me a great pleasure to speak on behalf of ESADE Business School. This is, our school since the very beginning has at its core the idea to bring meaningful change to society by combining innovation and social commitment. And something that I would quickly like to let you know is a series of events and activities that we are trying to push forward, even in interaction talking to Sailesh. And basically, what we are trying to do is I would say like a series of activity based on three main pillars. So the first one will be the organization of a high-level event combining policymakers and industry leaders to be held in our campus of Madrid. That will be called ESG Square, that is the ESADE Sustainability Gatherings on IAG. And that our aim is this event to become a reference event in the industry, to talk about all the, broadly speaking, all the challenges related to the topic of sustainability, but then also connecting also to what Jonas was saying. What we want as a school is also to bring our students and the future leaders of tomorrow to be able really to contribute actively with solutions to these challenges that we are all facing. And to do that, what we are doing right now, we are starting to contact leading companies in the fields of energy, technology, finance, insurance, and consulting. And what is the main idea? The main idea is that, with these companies, what we're going to be doing is like to define challenges and case studies and explicit questions that then our students will have to address. And it will be part of the last year in the undergraduate programs. It will be an optional class in which we're going to select our best students, students that are highly interested in the topic of sustainability. And the idea is to have like these different industries in order to have like an organic view about all the potential solutions to the transition process. And then The last point, the third pillar would be, and I mean, something that I also want to emphasize is that what we're going to be forming is group of students from like the last year of our undergraduate programs, together with, in collaboration with our MBA students, which are interested in the topic of sustainability, in order to have really a kind of heterogeneous group of students that really could contribute with their views. And finally, the idea is that these different groups working on these different case studies will refer to their solution in another event, which will be more devoted to students in collaboration still with the industry, in which basically the idea is, and this will be held in our campus in Barcelona, is students will present their solution and proposal on these case studies, and then we're gonna be holding a panel with all the interested industries, in which they're gonna somewhat elaborate on what they are actually doing related to these challenges and how the input of the students could help them in this transition. And so this is like an effort that we are starting right now, since like sustainability is really at the core of ESADE, and we are very willing and actually looking forward to collaborate with all of you in this effort. So for this, I really would like to thank Sales for putting up this program today.
Thank you so much, Omar, for that. I think since the past Green Hydrogen Assembly, you have been really supportive in encouraging and bringing more and more young people to this entire discourse on green hydrogen. We really look forward to seeing how we can really work together in the mentorship and guidance of Jonas as well. So thank you so much, Omar, for that. Now we would have Maria Jose Ochoa, who hails from Mexico. She is studying in Spain global governance, economics, and legal order at ESADE University. She's also very engaged in debating political aspects, situations, and part of the team of the organizing team for the Model United Nations. She would, I would urge Maria to showcase and share why young women leadership is so crucial and important in strengthening the youth for green hydrogen. Maria, over to you.
Hello everyone, my name is Maria Jose Ochoa, and yes, I'm from Mexico, but I'm studying here in Spain, as Aelis already mentioned. I'm studying this career not only because I love economics and politics, but also because I want to be part of something important and to contribute to the world positive and beneficial things. I think right now we're facing many crises of different types, from political and economic crises to humanitarian and environmental ones. And they are all affecting every single individual in the world. And at the end, it's our responsibility to change that. And even though currently there are people from the government, international organizations, non-governmental organizations, and more that are working and willing to eradicate and diminish those crises, they can't do it without our help. And in the future, we will still be facing the same or even more severe problems. And that is the same reason why we are here today. Billions of tons of carbon dioxide emissions are released in the atmosphere every single year. And although governments and companies are doing something about it, it is not enough. And if we really want to make a change and undo all the damage that we have caused, we require urgent and concrete action. And green hydrogen is key factor for that. Decarbonizing the planet is one of the goals that countries have set for the 2015, and we can do that with green hydrogen, which is a more accessible and efficient way to do this. But now, what is the duty and what is the role that youth have in this sector? First, young people must know the importance of taking care of the world, caring for the environment, and acting in a sustainable way. Because at the end, if we want to achieve a change, we need the help of every single person. And if they contribute and do their part, things can be changed. However, it is not enough that youth are aware. They must step in. Because in 20 years and in the future, the ones who will be responsible for taking government positions, leading big companies, working and being the society are us. And that is why we should be involved, be aware of how it works, and to contribute in this. But it's also to take into consideration and highlight the role of women in this. Because the planet belongs to everyone. and therefore everyone is needed to make a difference. And we can apport effective and innovative solutions, and we should not be afraid of trying to do so. And what a better way to break the stigmas that society has through helping and contributing to saving the planet. And just as the Green Hydrogen Global Assembly of last May was able to make the first youth declaration to promote this, we need to continue pressing and continue with this important work. And well, finally, I want to say that although nowadays it seems that young people do not have much power in their hands, they have it, and they have the most important role, which is today we learn from what is happening so that tomorrow we can change it. And I just want to finish with what Antonio Guterres said last September, that is that the climate emergency is a race we are losing, but it's a race we can win. And adding to this, I think that youth are the ones in charge of crossing the finish line of this race. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maria. I see a lot of young people from ESADE, putting out big round of applause for you. And I will spearhead that for you, Mariana, Kirill, and a lot of other young people doing that. So thank you so much, everyone, and Maria, for your thoughts. I think it is the young people, as you rightly mentioned, would be taking up to cross that finish line. So thank you so much, Maria. Now we would have, of course, a very dynamic young man from Namibia, Frans Kalenga. Yes.
Are you able to see me?
Of course, it's clear now. Please go ahead, Frans.
Right. Thank you. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everybody, depending where you find yourself. As already introduced, my name is Frans Kalenga, and I'm the technical advisor to the Minister of Mines and Energy in the Republic of Namibia. Thank you for inviting me to participate in today's session on the importance of strengthening youth for green hydrogen for the energy transition. Now, this comes in handy as we commemorate the World Environment Day. I know when Celeste contacted me to speak about Namibia's ambitions into the climate change, into green hydrogen, and the steps that we have taken with the scholarship to speak about it, I wanted first to give context that what are really Namibia's commitment towards this. And just to highlight that Namibia is resolutely committed in taking practical and ambitious actions to reduce emissions and ensure a climate resilient economy, just like any other countries earlier alluded by other speakers. Now, we believe that the green hydrogen offers the unique opportunity to both increasing the development of the renewable energy in the country and while increasing the new market opportunities that will contribute to the economic growth. Now, one needs to wonder or ask themselves, what's the urgency? What is the problem that we are trying to solve that everybody is talking about green hydrogen? There's never been more a critical time in the history on the planet where acceleration of global transition to renewable energy has been so speedily like this time. There is an urgent for the world to decarbonize in order to meet the net zero goals and protect the planet. Dependence on unstable countries and regions. Recently, we have seen the war in Russia and Ukraine and how a lot of countries have had now a reality check and need to diversify their energy supplies. Now, with all these problems that we need to solve, where does the green hydrogen come in? Or what role now does Namibia play in helping the world to decarbonize? Not long ago, the EU has pledged to triple the current 2030 targets for green hydrogen imports to 10 million per annum by 2030. Now, Europe, the EU, and Germany in particular is leading the adoption of the green hydrogen as an alternative to the Russian natural gas that they depend on. Now, Namibia is drawing on the international capital and expertise to implement the green hydrogen strategy. And we recently signed a joint declaration with Germany to accelerate the research in the production of the green hydrogen. Now, Namibia is uniquely positioned to be one of the largest green hydrogen producers globally. How is so? We significantly have the availability of land, almost the 35th largest by land mass and the second least populated. Now, among the world's top resources, rich location for co-location of wind and solar energy, you'll find it in Namibia. One of the most stable democratic governments in Africa. Now, few, if any, competing interests are competing industry, infrastructure, and unsupportive private landowners, and geographic to the available employment opportunities in the country. There are many Namibian graduates, both post and undergraduates, who are qualified but remain unemployed. Experts anticipate that the numbers of jobs within the emerging green hydrogen economy will grow exponentially over the coming years. As an optimal location for the production of green hydrogen and its derivatives, it is vital that the Namibian government taking a leadership role in building capacity for this new industry and ensure that people are trained and ready to contribute to the emerging green hydrogen economy workforce. Therefore, this scholarship program will facilitate capacity building for the emerging green hydrogen industry while addressing the high unemployment rate in the country. Now, as a first move towards building the green hydrogen workforce, this scholarship has been designed to mainly target two groups, and there's a reason for that design. The first group are unemployed Namibian graduates, and the second are those interested in pursuing vocational education and training in the field of green hydrogen. It's our hope that the scholarship for young Namibian scientists and engineers will hone our skills with fellow Germans and indeed global like-minded peers as those ones that are on this platform as we seek to find breakthrough in related fields. Now, the question is, why build all that capacity? Why the scholarships? Why training, vocational or at whatever level? It's just important to highlight from our side that we, as a country, we have embarked upon a Southern Corridor Development Initiative. And this is a portfolio for complementary projects and infrastructure in the southern region that maximizes opportunity presented by the green hydrogen and green ammonia. Now, this is, as earlier alluded, given our world-class renewable resources and proximity to the ocean, Namibia is well placed to become the sub-Saharan powerhouse with a dynamic green and blue economy. Not only the SCDI, but we also have a lot of green hydrogen valleys that we are going to develop. Now, this is a big project in terms of investment. It's almost $10 billion US dollars investment.
Could we have Erik Solheim's message, please?
Hello, friends in Youth for Green Hydrogen. Namaskar. Happy World Environment Day. At this day, of course, we all know that we have a triple environment crisis on planet Earth. Climate change is a big threat, and so is destruction of nature and pollution in many of our cities. But I'm much more interested in the solutions than in describing the problem, because solutions is what will solve the problem for us, and one of the major solutions is the shift into green hydrogen. We believe that in 10 or 20 years into the future, green hydrogen may be 20 or 25% of the energy on planet Earth, will be used in aviation, in shipping, in trucks, and for major industrial processes like steel and to make fertilizer. The shift is just started, but it will be a major green shift. A few months back, I was so privileged and happy to join the initial meeting of Youth for Green Hydrogen in the beautiful city of Siliguri in northern West Bengal in India. Many young people from India came together to form the organization, and in the few months which it has been in existence, a huge number of people have joined from basically all continents. And I believe that Youth for Green Hydrogen will be a major force for environment solutions on the planet. And of course in Barcelona, very recently, Green Hydrogen, the mother organization, Green Hydrogen Organization,
দেখ এদিকে সামনে এবার সামনে বুঝবি এদেরকে দেখ
and then for Green
দেখছিস
Hydrogen, we brought business,
এলা ভাষা বুঝবি না
government and civil
এখন
society
আমেরিকা থেকে
together
মেক্সিকো
to
থেকে
make a
ফ্রান্স থেকে
huge
সুইডেন থেকে
pitch for Green Hydrogen.
দে স্পিক ইংলিশ দেখ কাকুর
Some
কাছে
people may
লাল
ask,
মানুষ
can young people really change the world? Can they really do something to promote green hydrogen? And the answer is a resounding yes. Without the energy of young people, we will simply fail. So thank you to all of you for spending time and effort
কি
in Youth for Green
এই
Hydrogen
যে এখানে
and to promote this fantastic green fuel for the future.
ছোটটা কই
I wish you all a very happy World Environment Day.
Thank you so much, Eric, for that, for sending your virtual message. And right before this meeting, he also sent me an email that he would have loved to join and would want to hear the, the highlights of this meeting and how we take it ahead. So thank you so much. It has been a lovely evening, and I wish each one of you a green hydrogen day, a green hydrogen year. And we look forward to working with each one of you. If you would have any thoughts, any suggestions, please feel free to reach out to us. And we look forward in learning from each other, in coexisting with each other, and not in competing with any one of you. Thank you so much once again. Namaste, dhanyavad, gracias, and thanks. Happy World Environment Day once again.